Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Brennan, how many, I think I heard this, I just want to clarify, how many employees at the Postal Service total?
We have 498,000 career and 136,000 flexible or non-career employees.
Okay. What was the $7.5 million referred to twice? Ms. Lawrence, you and Mr. Rolando both.
That is the entire mailing industry, so it includes private sector as well as the Postal Service.
Okay. So more or less, what, 550,000, 600,000? I didn't tally that.
Yeah, roughly 634,000.
634, okay. And yet we all understand we've got a declining industry as a whole through because of a variety of factors, digital and so forth. Does the Postal Service have too many employees?
We have a requirement, our universal service obligation, to deliver to all 155 million delivery points, 135 million of which are physical delivery points. The other 20 are post office boxes. So that requires an extensive network, and that network includes employees, facilities, vehicles, and equipment.
I understand that, but is it top-heavy? Do we have too many employees?
No, I would say that we consistently look at how to rebalance and where there are opportunities. And if you look at the reduction in overall complement, we've reduced more than 168,000 employees over the last decade.
Okay, so we have 634,000 employees. We have a declining business, but you don't think we have too many employees still?
The challenge, sir, is the workload content associated with package delivery, as an example.
No, I understand that, but that problem is why we have a declining business. The result of a declining business, what would a private company do? If a private company is losing money month after month, year after year, quarter after quarter, what would they do?
What we did, sir, in terms of rationalizing the network, consolidating facilities, adjusting retail hours at post offices to match customer demand, some of the same management actions that I've been recently criticized for.
But we're still losing money. And I'll go on. You said that the goal, you said a few moments ago that your goal is to fill mailboxes and trucks. Is that your strategy to turn this thing around?
Our strategy is far more complex than that, Congressman.
I would hope so.
I was trying to simplify.
Well, but that's what you said was your goal.
You don't want to, you can't cost cut your way to prosperity. There are opportunities for us certainly to drive efficiencies. There are opportunities for us to look at overall operating expense, and we do that every day. But we also need to look at opportunities to grow. There are opportunities to grow. Mail still works. We delivered 154 billion pieces of mail last year, and 150 billion was mail.
But you continue to lose money. That is the issue, and it seems rather unrealistic when you have a declining industry to think that somehow the goal of simply filling mailboxes and trucks is going to be successful in the long run. Ms. Rectanis, you mentioned earlier that the Postal Service has been on high risk since 2009. And you summarized the reason for two basic reasons: less mail and higher salaries. Do you see an opportunity without cutting, be it the workforce or whatever, for the Postal Service to turn this around?
We have proposed that it's really got to be a balancing act between generating revenue and aligning costs. We do believe that there's more right-sizing that the Postal Service can do, and that's addressing where they have excess capacity, but then putting that where they do need capacity. Certainly exploring some of the workforce issues that they have, and Ms. Brennan is right, they've done a great job over the past several years to manage their workforce, but we're starting to see it creep up again in fiscal 15, and looking at the delivery mechanisms. Again, and you need to do that by also looking at the revenue, but you have to look at both of them. And yes, part of it is, what does the mail picture look like today and in the future? And what type of services are going to be required, and how do we want to provide those services, which is what we would like to see through comprehensive postal reform.
Okay, well, let me springboard off of that and come back to you for my final question, Ms. Brennan. What is the Postal Service long-term plan for addressing the declining industry?
Let me first, if I may, Congressman, address your comment earlier about the losses. The majority of the losses are tied to the pre-funding mandate. In terms of our long-term plan, it is addressing infrastructure, how to leverage that, repurpose that to support the growth, address the latent capacity.
Support what growth?
Package growth, sir. We've grown our packages 49% over the past 5 years. We will right-size the infrastructure, as we've been doing with where we need to consolidate with the decline in letter volume. We'll continue to look at every opportunity to improve operating efficiencies. We have a number, as I mentioned, of over $5 billion of cost reductions identified in our 5-year plan.
Thank you. I think it's time for the Postal Service to act as though private business has to act in similar situations of constantly losing money without relying upon the taxpayer. At some point, we've got to change. Mr. Chairman, I thank you for your indulgence.
Thank the gentleman.